This week on TechRap, will Flappy Bird fly again? The Nokia X and Sony Xperia Z2 arrive in the Philippines. And we go up close and personal with LG's newest phablet, the G Pro 2.
Hi, I'm Michael Josh, and this is TechRap, your weekly source for tech news, gadget reviews, app recommendations, and social media tips. Will Flappy Bird fly again? In his first interview since pulling out the game from mobile app stores, Flappy Bird creator Nguyen Ha-dong tells Rolling Stone he's considering resurrecting the game. Nguyen says he was upset not only by the fame that surrounded Flappy Bird, but also by messages from people telling him how the game caused them to flunk exams and lose jobs. While he is not working on a new version, Nguyen says any sequel would come with a warning to users to, quote, "Please take a break." The Vietnamese game developer is now busy creating other games, including a cowboy-themed shooter, a vertical flying game called Kit Jetpack, and an action chess game called Checkernaut. iOS version 7.1 comes to Apple's smartphones and tablets, bringing with it a host of new features, the most talked about being CarPlay. Available in select Ferrari, Honda, Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, and Volvo cars this 2014, CarPlay is a new in-car system that integrates seamlessly with your iPhone. An on-screen display looks and works just like iOS and can be controlled via touch, your car's built-in knobs, or via voice commands to Siri.
With whom would you like to speak?
John Appleseed.
Calling John Appleseed.
Dictate text messages to Siri and have her read you new ones. Apple Maps, if you trust them, are at your disposal, and all your music is arranged just like on your iPhone or iPad. Third-party apps Spotify and Beats Music are also supported, with more coming soon. Back to iOS 7, other updates include improvements to Siri. A new HDR auto mode is also available on the iPhone 5S. Other updates include minor user interface changes like separate buttons to answer or decline calls, a new calendar app month view. To get the update, go into Settings, select General, and then Software Update. There's a lot in store for users who have access to the Starbucks smartphone app, aside from being able to pay for your drinks. This week, a new tip was featured allowing users to give up to $2 as a tip to their favorite baristas. But that's not all. Soon, you will be able to pre-order drinks. The idea is to pre-order your drink so that by the time you get to your favorite neighborhood Starbucks, all you have to do is pick up your order. Now that's a great idea. The internet turns 25 this week. Yep, you heard me. It's been 2.5 decades since Tim Berners-Lee submitted a proposal that outlined a way for computers to be linked, allowing easy file sharing. His paper was presented at CERN in Switzerland on March 12, 1989, and while it was initially ignored, the web, because it was open and free, beat challengers and is the dominant force that it is today. Today, the internet faces a host of other challenges, one of which is access. About 2/3 of the world's population is not online. Another challenge has to do with security and privacy. This week, Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg sent out an open letter to the US government expressing frustration over NSA spying and calling on, quote, all of us to build the internet we want, one that is safe and secure. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden, both virtually addressing crowds at this year's South by Southwest Interactive Conference, shared similar sentiments. Snowden called for public oversight of the US government's spying programs, while Assange, like Zuckerberg, says, quote, we all have to do something about it. Google believes that we are just scratching the surface when it comes to wearables. This week, it announces an SDK for Android that it hopes will allow developers to develop a range of products that can harvest data from a variety of body-mounted sensors. Speaking at South by Southwest this year, Google Android head Sundar Pichai says it will take a while before Google announces wearables of its own. He says, quote, "From my standpoint and the team's standpoint, we want to focus on the platform and the APIs." Google's announcement comes after Mobile World Congress, where Samsung announced a range of wearable computers, but ditched Android in favor of open source operating system Tizen. Announced last month at MWC, the Nokia X is now available in the Philippines. The Nokia X is a 4-inch low-spec Android-powered smartphone, but unlike the usual Android smartphone, users cannot download apps directly to the Google Play Store. Users instead need apps developed specifically for the Nokia X platform. But fear not, popular apps like Facebook, Twitter, Vine, Line, and games like Plants vs. Zombies 2 and Fruit Ninja are all preloaded on the device. The phone retails for $5,990 and is available in bright green, bright red, black, and white. Also now available in the Philippines is the quick follow-up to Sony's flagship Z1 smartphone, the waterproof Xperia Z2. The Z2 is almost identical to its predecessor. The biggest noticeable difference is the Z2's larger 5.2-inch display. In the Philippines, the Z2 will be available this April and will retail for 33,990 pesos.
This is a quick hands-on with the LG's newest phablet, the LG G Pro 2. Now, the device, as you can see, very much resembles the same form factor as the rest of the LG G line. It looks pretty much like the LG G2, which is their flagship device. Their phablet comes with a 5.9-inch Full HD IPS display. But if you turn it around, you also will see that similar to the G2, it comes with a standard one-button layout. There are no physical buttons on either side of the phone. Now, in terms of initial impressions, I do like the matte and textured feel of the back plate of the phone. It's not as glossy as it used to be, and it's also better to grip. Also, I do like that even if it is a 5.9, almost a 6-inch smartphone, you don't really feel the size and weight. On the back of the phone, you'll notice a 13-megapixel camera with optical image stabilization built in. Now, LG has introduced a new technology on this phone called OIS Plus, which is basically a combination of hardware and software image stabilization that promises better photos in low light. One of the new features of the camera on the G Pro 2 is a feature called Magic Focus. What it does is it lets you preview the photo that you took. Now what we're seeing here is there's nothing in focus at the moment, and then you can select which items you want focus. So I click that and the cup is in focus. I click over here and the phone at the back is in focus, and then you can go all the way to infinity and just have everything in focus. Now, you don't get all these photos. You'll need to pick which focus you like, but it's nice to be able to select the focus after you took the shot. One of the new features of the G Pro 2 is knock code, which is an evolution of its knock-on technology, which is you knock on the display to turn the phone on. Knock code allows you to unlock your phone, so let's go ahead and do that over here. Now, when you're getting a phablet and you have small hands like me, sometimes reaching up from the top of the display to the bottom of the display could be quite a challenge. And what LG wants to do is to help users deal with that kind of issue. And they've introduced a technology or a feature called Mini View. Now, you can swipe either the right to the left or the left to the right here where the buttons are located. Because I'm holding the phone with my left hand at the moment, I'm going to swipe from the right to the left. And as you can see, they've reduced the size of the phone's display. So all of that portion is unusable at the moment. It makes it easier now for me to say reach from the top of the phone to the bottom of the phone. This will be helpful for several reasons. For example, you're typing and you want to be able to get all the keys, so I can go into messaging, start a new message that way, and just really be able to reach all my keys. That way I can make that a bit larger. Now to turn it off, you can just click X and it'll go back to your regular mode. One last feature I'd like to talk about is called Dual Browser. It's an update to a feature previously called Dual Window. Now to activate that, you'd have to long press on the back button, and as you can see, there are a couple of available apps which you can use. It's really to maximize the screen real estate by allowing you to run two applications simultaneously and side by side. So let's say I want to do messaging and internet. I would do that and just wait a bit, and as you can see, it's loaded Google.com on the bottom, and you have my SMS application up top. I can go ahead and just click on the link and just click connect, and as you can see, Rappler loads on the bottom of the device. The LG G Pro 2 runs off a snappy 2.26 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 800 processor, 3 gigabytes of RAM, and comes with a 3,200 milliampere battery. The phone runs on the latest version of Android 4.4.2 KitKat.
And that was TechRap. For all the latest tech news, log on to rappler.com/technology. If you're looking for old or new episodes, you can also log on to rappler.com/TechRap. Follow us on social media, join the conversation online, and if you have any tech questions, send us emails. All the details are below. That's all for this week, folks. I'm Michael Josh. Thanks for dropping by.